Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Feeling Things. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kat.
And my feeling of the day is grateful, I think.
What do you mean you think?
Okay, hear me out. Maybe I'm trying some reverse psychology on my body, but my back is in a lot of pain. However, I'm grateful because it could be worse. Like I'm having trouble walking. But
you're grateful because
I'm grateful because walk? I feel like it could be worse. And I'm gonna go see my chiropractor, and I know it will be better. So I'm grateful that I have that resource.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
What? My other way didn't make sense?
No, it makes sense, but
You struggled with it?
Well,
it was a stretch.
It just is like you don't have to be grateful because your back hurts.
I know. I get it.
You know,
I guess I just don't want the vibe or the energy to be like, I'm in pain. And that's like a physical feeling. It's not like the types of feelings we like to discuss. So it's like, how do I turn that? Because like all I can think about is my back right now.
When did that start?
Christmas Day.
Oh my gosh.
So a long time ago, but it went away for a little bit. I thought it was hormonal. And then after my cycle started, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Like sometimes my back hurts around that time, not always, but sometimes. And then it went away. And then I rearranged some furniture and it came back. So maybe it was hormonal around Christmas and then maybe it was inflamed and then it didn't totally go down. And then I made it worse trying to move furniture without sliders. But then I got smart and I went to Home Depot. And I got some new sliders.
I'm not familiar with the sliders.
You know, the things you put on your furniture to slide it around. Wait, you don't know? You really don't know?
I know what the little things are
like
that you put on like chairs so they don't scratch up your floor. Is that what you mean?
No. Okay. It's Kat. How do you move furniture?
I call my dad. Okay. I'm just kidding. I lift it.
You lift
or
it?
I call somebody to help me, but I've never, or if it's a carpet or something, I slide it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've got hardwoods and rugs, so I can't really just slide and I don't want to scratch the floor. Yeah. So my son was trying to help me, which shout out, he is strong for 15. I'm like, you go, buddy. Yay. I'm like, you got it. Like I'm encouraging him. I'm like barely lifting it up.
Yeah.
But we're really struggling with some of the pieces. And I thought, okay, I didn't know where my sliders were because I've had them before and I couldn't find them. So I was like, get in the car. So I went to Home Depot and I got upgraded sliders. So like these, sometimes you can get it with like 2 different surfaces on each side. So that way they work on carpet or wood. You just have to flip depending. But these came with like little coats.
Ooh,
like a little coat
jacket.
that you put, a little jacket, a little fuzzy jacket that you put on the disc. And then it really slides across hardwoods like butter.
Butter.
I was moving all kinds of things after that.
Those are reminding me of the little discs. Have you ever used those when you work out?
Yes.
Those are the devil.
That is pretty much what.
The same thing?
Yes. Like actually we could get those, put them on our feet and do some lunges.
I don't want to.
Or like some skaters. Is that what they're called? Yeah.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about. Pretty painful.
Okay, well, cool.
I definitely could not do a skater. Do you know, I was still doing Pilates after my back was hurting. And the instructor came over and asked me if I was okay at one point because I was really struggling. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. I don't know, just hormonal back pain. I don't really know. And she's like, here's a stick. So she gave me this really long pole. And I've never seen anyone in class use these. I'm pretty sure they're for the elderly.
No, they're not. Those things that they have the little base on top you can put your hand on.
It's just a stick.
Oh.
With like a rubber, so it stays put on the hard floor.
Yeah.
But I had to hold the stick the entire class because like I couldn't bend down all the way.
I don't think that's for the elderly.
I think it's for the elderly.
No,
or the pregnant.
Every time I've been to a Pilates.
Pregnant or the elderly.
I've never been pregnant.
Every time you've been where?
To a Pilates studio.
It sounded like you said a strip class.
Every time I've been to a strip class, there's been a pole.
There's been a pole, right? Yes.
No, every time I've been to a Pilates class or a Legree class, they have those things. And for some moves, the teacher brings them to everybody.
Oh, I've never done a Legree.
You must go to really advanced because sometimes I'm like living for that pole.
I have never seen a pole before. And no, I go to regular. Like I don't go to advanced, but I've never done Legree. So maybe that's why. I feel like I'm too scared of that. That seems too intense.
Well, I think, no, you can, if I can do it, you can do it.
Thank you.
Except I don't have back pain right now. So.
Well, so anyway, I'm grateful.
Okay, well,
so that's my feeling.
You're grateful.
Mm-hmm. What's yours?
I'm feeling shook. And I'm feeling shook for 2 reasons. I'm feeling shook because of a voicemail we got. And I'm feeling shook about, and maybe shook is the wrong word for the second one, but it's just what came to me. I'm feeling shook about something we prefaced our listeners to listen to Beth's Dead podcast about this crazy thing that happened. They're all out. I listened to the last one. I saved it for today, so it'd be fresh in my mind.
Oh, wow.
Because I was, the second to last episode, I was like so annoyed. And so I was like, I'm done with this. So I needed a break. And then I was like, I'll listen to the last one before, because surely something, what I thought was going to happen, and it didn't. So which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, I don't know your thoughts on Beth's Dead, so I'm very curious about those. I do know the voicemail, so let's go ahead and get the voicemail out of the way, because I too am a little shook by that. Not even a little. Like, I'm disturbed. I'm confused.
I'm scared.
I'm worried for humanity. Yes. So this is a voicemail that came in about why you should always wash your underwear.
Well,
and more.
Well, you wash your underwear, new underwear.
Right, because Kat has admitted she doesn't wash swimsuits, underwear, sheets, like nothing. She's like straight out of the bag, straight from the store.
I got this outfit and I didn't wash it before I wore it.
Rub this all over my body. And now after you hear this voicemail that we got from a caller who is anonymous, but not because we, she's like, don't say my name. She just like didn't say her name. So whoever sent this, like if you're listening now, thank you for, changing Kat's life, because now she's going to start washing everything.
Yeah, this scared me.
All right. Here's the voicemail.
So I used to be with Kat on the not washing my clothes or anything after I bought them, until I saw a video of a guy taking a pair of panties in the store, putting the whole thing in his mouth, sucking on it, and then sitting it back down on the shelf. And ever since then, I have washed all my clothes, especially my underwear. Kat, please think about creepy people out there. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Okay.
She lost me when she said sucking on it.
Like, why was he?
What does that even mean? He was sucking on it.
Like, he grabbed the underwear and
put the whole thing in his mouth and then was like.
But why? Like, what? I don't understand.
I wonder if he like does that on the regular, if he was just trying to like pull a prank.
Okay, but honestly, I'm sort of like, okay, at least he was like, I'd rather it be that orifice than like, I thought she was going to say he grabbed the underwear and like stuck it down his pants.
Yeah. Well, that is better, because then it's wet, right? So like, just don't, I guess it would dry eventually.
It dries.
But if he just stuck it down his pants, it would never, well.
And then like, yeah, see, I'd rather, if I had to choose, like the mouth is, it's not okay, but it's better than the alternative.
Also, he's doing this in public where she was able to see it. Who else saw this? And did anybody say something?
See something, say something.
Exactly. You wouldn't, because you'd be afraid of somebody retaliating.
No. If I knew he didn't know that I was the one that said something,
you would tell.
I would just go tell like a clerk, or
I wonder if this
somebody that worked there,
listener anonymous, told somebody. I wish I could ask her some questions about this.
Maybe
Where
she's
was
listening
she
now? Like, we need more details. Can
Where
you
were
call
you?
us back
Yeah.
and give us more details about it? Did you get the underwear?
What kind of underwear was it? Where were you?
Like,
Did you
is it a
say something?
thong?
Were other people watching? Yeah, because like if it's like full-butted underwear, that's a lot of.
Yes. If it's like granny panties, it's like a lot. If it's just like, was it a G-string?
Okay, yeah, we have questions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm shook.
Yeah. But I love the just like the little nugget that was. Like, such a simple voicemail that was entertaining, perplexing,
Educational.
yes, and educational, and is going to likely encourage change. To you, yes. Because, you're now going to become a washer.
You know what? Patrick, I'm just thinking about this. We just went to Target and got him some new boxers. Didn't wash them. They were folded in a package, though.
Yeah, so it's unlikely that
And
someone
you can't
stuck
fit a pair of boxers in your mouth.
Right.
Okay, I vow to, you know what? I'm just going to go buy some new underwear today just to prove that I can wash them before I wear them.
Okay.
I stand by that. Okay.
You do that.
Okay.
You report back. Okay. See if you just feel anything different. Yeah. Okay, so why else are you shook? I mean, the voicemail shook, but I know it's in regards to Beth's dead, but I don't know your thoughts on the final episode, which if you didn't get the homework assignment and you didn't listen, well, sorry, that's okay. And we're probably saving you time. Depending on Kat's feelings, maybe you would say now don't listen.
I would say listen to the first 6 or 7 episodes.
Okay, but are we going to talk about what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
But also like,
so
you
after
don't really
you hear
need
this,
to.
like, don't. Like, I honestly feel like, yes, it's like a waste of time now.
Yeah. When I first started listening to it, I thought something completely different was going on.
Same.
So I was really invested in it. And I was just like, this is so crazy. Oh my gosh. This is like such a good idea for a podcast. Like, I love it. But then as the episodes went on, we'll talk about what the actual content was, but this is my critique of the actual podcast, which I know podcasting is hard and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but this was my thought about it. As it went on, it felt more manufactured and less like, because it felt at first like it was this like organic unveiling of the story. And then it felt more manufactured and they were just trying to like squeeze the lemon and like the story was over. But I guess they needed 10 episodes because it was a 10 episode series. I don't know if I want to say my overall thought, because it's about the ending.
Okay, well then think about that. Think about whether or not you want to say your overall thought. And I'm going to read an email that we got from our listener, Cindy.
Okay.
And I love that she signs the email and only Cindy.
Because what were you calling Cindy? What were you saying? Oh
no!
I get what she's meant. I thought that was a callback from when you were talking about Cindy Lou Who or something. Cindy Hoo Hoo or something.
No. She's clarifying that she is Cindy and it's just her.
Got it.
She is not someone else because Beth's dead has to do with a catfishing situation.
Okay, that's actually really funny.
It is funny.
Haha, Cindy,
like,
that was good.
Cindy, we get you. Even Kat. She's a little slow. Hi, I heard about Beth's dead from you guys and I binged it in a couple of days. I'm flabbergasted at where the hosts ended up. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on it. I feel like the guy is just a master manipulator and they were absolutely duped again. He came in with the addiction angle knowing Monica would have compassion. Now I feel bizarre emailing podcasts like this. I swear I'm one human. Love the podcast and I listen weekly. Thanks for being you, Cindy, and only Cindy.
Okay, I get it.
Okay, to all of our listeners, if you listen to Beth's Dead because of us and then now you're second guessing ever sending us a voicemail or an email, don't. We are fine having a healthy parasocial relationship with y'all. I think that those can exist. In fact, we have those with listeners. And then some have become like where we know listeners, we see them out and about and it's like, or we see them at events and it's like, oh, hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Or like we end up knowing faces that we DM with, but it stays healthy. It's cool. Like we're not, I don't know. We're not going to go anywhere crazy. But if you haven't listened, you might be like, well, what could you be flabbergasted about? And what is she talking about? Like addiction angle and Monica having compassion. Well, so Monica works alongside Dax Shepard, who is in recovery. And she mentions in the podcast that she knows a lot of people in recovery. So who knows who else
Dax,
in her life.
I think relapsed while she was working with him.
He did. So she's walked through that as well. And I have walked alongside people with alcoholism in the last 5 years. So I feel like I have learned a lot about that. And you can tell Monica knows the program. She even probably works her own type of program as a loved one of someone that is an alcoholic or an addict. And I highly respect her demeanor towards people. Like she seems like a very caring, compassionate person. I gathered that through the episode. I was like, okay,
very
wow.
So.
And I found myself being very compassionate towards the catfisher. And I did. Why are you looking at me crazy?
Okay.
See? I feel like you're feeling shook, but I am like, okay, I can be convinced otherwise, but I don't agree with Cindy. And maybe based on the look on your face, like y'all don't think he was being genuine.
Okay. I'm going to preface this with, I want to be careful. I have a lot of compassion for
Of course you
the
do.
addiction community. I've worked in addiction for many years. I wouldn't call myself the expert of experts on it, but I understand it.
You for sure do. And I can vouch for you on that. But I'm wondering, how much do we need to give people that are listening to us now that maybe haven't listened to all of the episodes?
I think if you haven't listened to it, you don't need to.
So how do we talk about this in a way that's going to be entertaining to them?
Well, because I'm going to explain what happened.
Sweet.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know how far back we were going to go.
I think I can explain it in a nutshell. So basically what happened is back in the beginning of podcasts, there's this podcast that listeners would, just like our couch talks, listeners would email questions and stuff and they would read them and give advice.
Mm-hmm.
So what had happened was somebody started emailing these two, it was a husband and a wife. And you can fill in any gaps that I'm missing, but started emailing. The first email was about like some fat shaming or body shaming of somebody. And it was a good question, I think. Like good for thought, good for conversation for the podcast. Seemed pretty normal, kind of tugged on their heartstrings. Then what ended up transpiring is they started getting more emails from the same person. And I won't give up the storylines of the emails because they're not that important. But just like on Couch Talks, when like we read an email and listeners then will email us about that email, like
an update.
But then like even other people will be like, oh, I heard your email about Susan and I wanted to let her know that I'm thinking of her. And
yes.
We've had like those connections.
And I love those moments.
Yes, they're so sweet and so special. So that was happening here. And there ended up being like 5 people that were emailing the woman, the host, and she was responding back like right away. And they were getting very intense. And it wasn't just like emailing questions for the podcast. They were emailing personal stuff. So she gets wrapped up in this whole thing. She becomes very enmeshed in this one particular character story, Beth. And then Beth dies by suicide, I think, right?
Yep.
So that creates a whole other snowball effect.
It leads to their podcast ending.
Yes. Yes. And like this woman is torn up by this. And
and I thought when I just hit my microphone. I'm sorry. I'm a professional. I thought when I heard that part, because at this point when we're listening, we think that Beth is real and she's really dead.
Yes. Oh yeah. I never thought one other thing other than what the story that they were telling us was true. And when Beth died, this is the thought I had. I was like, and I think I told you this is kind of weird that they're reading this dead person's emails as if she's a crazy person, because she's dead and we should respect her. And like, what if she didn't want that out there?
Well, that's sweet of you to think of her. I was thinking about us and our relationships and listeners and like thinking back over emails that we've gotten over the years. And like, I started to wonder like, okay, you know how you give the disclaimer at the beginning of Couch Talks? I'm like, oh, thank God we give a disclaimer. Like we're covered there legally. Like if someone were to like make a decision and do something, or just that, okay, we've maintained like healthy boundaries. We don't get too wrapped up in things. Yes, we appreciate the correspondence and we want it, but also we can't, like, that was cool of her to sit down and start responding to every single email. But if you've ever emailed us, you may know that your email may end up on a Couch Talks, and then that's where we address it.
Right.
Occasionally we'll write back. And maybe that's wrong. I haven't thought about it because early in my career, I spent time replying to almost everybody, even hate mail that I would get. Like I would spend a long time drafting like a very thoughtful response. And then I realized I had to soon let that go, which then sort of led to me letting go in a lot of communication. And I'm sort of like, there are some like I would love to respond to, but I'm like, if we're going to talk about it on Couch Talks eventually, then I may not need to email back. Or I might be like, hey, heads up, this is going to be on an upcoming Couch Talks. Like, be on the lookout. But I don't engage in a lot of back and forth, but it's more of a, a time thing, and not because I don't care about our listeners or I don't want to have
you're talking to them.
gratitude. But it's like, I also would rather, okay, if I saw them in person, like I want to connect that way and be like, hey, if we had a live podcast or I ran into them somewhere and they said hi, like that would be better. But I can't have these email relationships with every single person that comes in. But it just made me think of anybody that's ever emailed us. And have we ever read an email that was fake, that like someone sent pretending to be somebody else?
Well, I think that there's two ways that could happen. It could be like Beth's dead, like I'm pretending to be somebody else, or you could be asking a question on like behalf of a friend. And I think they addressed this in the last episode. Like if something happened to my friend and I wanted to ask about it, it wasn't my story, I might write an email and act like it was my story and vice versa. That's not catfishing. That's just like asking a legit question in a way that feels comfortable. This is like you're making up a whole storyline. You're making up whole people. And like, maybe that has happened to us, but nothing to this extent because we don't have those ongoing, like you said, conversations.
Right. Which it made me thankful that we kind of have things set up the way that we do, or we operate in that way.
But Amy, if that was happening, I would be like, you got to stop responding. Like this girl, this podcast host, and she talks a little bit about her story. You kind of want to be like,
okay, like you should have. Yeah, like what are you doing?
Like you're not, I don't want to be rude because I understand why she got so enmeshed into it, but like that, I think she needs to address that of like some of those.
And she
wounds.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And she also, there's a reason why she wasn't filling her husband on everything. Because I think he would have been like, babe, what are you doing?
So thankfully we can both see our email account. So if you were doing that, unless you were deleting them, I'd be like, Amy, we're going a little too far.
You did see an email that I sent the other day. It's something I won't ever bring up on Couch Talks, but someone sent in an email asking about something sort of private.
Oh,
and it's one I could have ignored. But for whatever reason that day, I was feeling like I'm going to give this person an explanation because I don't know, feel like it and I can do it in a thoughtful way. So I replied to them and gave them an explanation and you saw it.
Yeah, but the person responded in a very healthy way too.
They responded in a healthy way too. I know it was a healthy exchange, but you were like,
I did.
You were like, I saw you replied to that listener, and I was shocked.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, she could have emailed, or I could have read the email the next day and probably not had the energy to respond. But for whatever reason, in that moment, I decided to send a response, and I'm glad I did. And it was a healthy exchange, and then poop, we ended it, and it's all good. But you did see that if I had continued to correspond and there was some back and forth and it got a little weird and crazy, you might be like, Amy, stop.
We got to pull the plug on this.
But yeah, that was an example of like a healthy exchange of a very parasocial relationship type question.
And that person was respectful, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, to kind of round out this story so I can get to my thoughts on the ending, turns out Beth didn't die because Beth didn't exist.
Yeah, she's...
So that was
man.
Yeah, it was one person that was like they know of like 5 to 7 people. There could have been more of them that the host was emailing all of these people. And then they ended up doing some investigative work of their own because they were kind of scared when all this happened. And they thought,
I was scared for them.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, they must be so sure about what they're about to do because I couldn't believe it.
When they confronted, when they did the Zoom?
Or just like before? Putting the whole, even at the beginning of the whole podcast, like when I was like, wait, I don't know where this is going, but how they're able to talk about all of this is crazy. And before we continue, I think it might be cool to just define parasocial in case anybody listening doesn't know exactly what that means, because I've only become familiar with it in the last couple of years or so. It's a one-sided relationship where a person feels a strong emotional connection with a media figure, like a celebrity, influencer, or fictional character who is unaware of their existence, involving feelings of friendship or intimacy despite the lack of real interaction. Yeah. It was coined in the 1950s. Who knew?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, they find out this person's none of these people are real. Then they are trying to figure out who it is because they want to, I don't know what they really wanted to do. I mean, what can you do? You can't like sue this person. Like it was a little bit of it was kind of stalking, but they thought it was this one prominent figure, a professor on the East Coast
Mm-hmm.
in religion or spirituality or theology or something like that. And in my head, I'm like, they're basically giving this person's identity away.
I know. I wanted to Google to try to
Well,
figure out
I
who
looked
it
on
is.
Reddit.
Oh, is there? Did they say?
I will say it was kind of overwhelming for me to read all the Reddit comments, so I kind of eventually stopped so I don't know. I don't think they figured out who it was. I think there were like 2 people they thought it was, but then I don't know that anybody. To me, I'm like, we could have. It feels like it could have been figured out, but anyway.
Well, they did say they changed things to make sure
nobody.
they weren't dropping clues. So I'm like, well,
So maybe
when
he's
did
not
they
on the East
go?
Coast.
When did they go edit and change? Yeah, like did they purposefully say East Coast when really it's Middle America
That's a good point. That's actually a really
or
good
West
point.
Coast? You know?
Yeah. So then they end up deciding that they're going to confront this person that they think it is. And this is when I was like, this is going to get so good. Because it kind of went like, okay, we found out it's not a real person. The podcast should be ended. But now they're dragging this podcast on. They're like, we're going to confront this person. Can I keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why are you asking me?
Well, because I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say before I give this away.
Oh no, I
Okay.
think I'm fine with it. I'm actually looking up to see
On
who
Reddit?
they were
You're on Reddit?
who they were speculating.
There's just like, I will say on Reddit, people are writing long
They have like a parasocial
Yes,
relationship with
this. Yes. And I was like, I can't read all of this. It's too much. So they decide to confront this person. They had a phone number that this person had given them. They end up calling. The person agrees to do a interview with them as long as they would change his voice, which was shocking to me. I was like, there's no way this person's going to do it. And then they end up doing it, and it's not the person they thought. It is his son.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. This
Okay.
is where they lost me.
Okay. See, why did they lose you? And what do you think? Because
I
you're
don't think it
shook.
was the son.
You don't.
I do not think it was the son.
You do not think it was the son.
I don't think it was. Now, I will say in the last
I'm just going to keep repeating you. You don't think it was the son?
I don't.
I wonder if Cindy does.
Maybe, because
Cindy is flabbergasted.
so I will give the credit that Monica said because they changed the guy's voice, you lose some of the intentionality and the sincereness of this guy because they had to do voice altering. So his voice is kind of monotone and blah. And they were saying like he was so sincere. He was so authentic. He was like so apologetic and all of that. Here's my thing. Here's my main thing. He didn't remember like anything.
But then he would kind of remember some stuff.
Yeah,
though.
it was like, what?
That's where it got me, where I was like, well, why do you remember this one thing, but you don't remember other things?
And like, you don't remember one of the main things was the money that he donated. So he gave them $1,000.
And he goes, did I?
I'm like, you remembered if you were, and this is judgmental of me. My thoughts are if you are heavy in addiction, you probably are spending a lot of money on stuff and hurting for money. And a lot of times people have to end up taking money from other, like you don't have like $1,000 just hanging out that you would give to a podcast when you probably want to be using it on other stuff.
And you're living in your parents'
You're living in
basement.
your parents' basement. So that's one of my...
That part, I will say, did perplex me. I was perplexed at a lot of the when he would remember stuff and when not. But I was like, well, I guess it might depend on how drunk he was. But then if
Did
you
he say
are...
what his drug of the choice was?
No, I'm saying alcohol, but it
Okay.
could have been other
Anything.
things. If he's under the influence of whatever. I said drunk, but could be drugs. So how is he able to keep all the characters... You know, because there was multiple listeners, emailers, characters,
Straight.
but he was able to keep them straight.
And his emails were like coherent.
So like maybe at the time when he's in the addiction, like he remembers it all, it's sort of like, you know, you're living in a, like your little, that time frame. And then maybe when he comes out of that into sobriety, could it be that he blocks some of that time?
That's very possible. But my thing is not even that like he wasn't an addict. I very well think this man could be an addict and he's in recovery and all that. I think he's covering for his dad.
But part of recovery is honesty.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't worked this whole thing out.
Well, because I'm just thinking like that being like living like a
How do you explain
out of
the
alignment.
But how do you explain the IP addresses? So at the way they found out who this guy was is because they traced the IP addresses. Don't ask me to explain an IP address.
Well, it's where you can find out where something is being sent
Sent.
from at any given time. And he was in Europe.
Yes, in these very specific places.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when these emails were sent. And like, I don't think this.
Well, the son said sometimes he would travel with his dad or on his own.
He said that?
He did. He did, because I too was wondering, and he did say that. However,
that's convenient. That to me is convenient.
But he was acting as if he doesn't agree with a lot of what his father says and does.
So why is he going with him to his academic?
Well, you can still have a relationship with because if your dad's like, hey, I have to go to Europe for this, do you want to go?
And
like,
maybe
do you say no?
Maybe if he's like heavy in addiction, his dad doesn't want to leave him at home.
Maybe.
Okay, that makes sense.
But my question to you is with this theory, which you could be totally onto something, but say it still is the dad and the son is covering for him. Is part of the act like, hey, if you're going to cover for me, I need you. It probably makes more sense that we have conflict in our relationship. Like you should act as if you don't align with me politically, religiously, and that will seem more real.
Yeah.
Because he's like, look, I don't really. And then he really wanted to leave his dad out of it. He's like, my dad knows nothing about this. Like he didn't do this.
Which is shocking. Shocking.
I need to know who this family is.
I know. I just think that I have a strong feeling that the dad had more to lose if he was found out. And they found out who it was. So this is a very convenient, like, hey, son, you cover for me and I'll pay for your anything you need. Like, I'm sure there's a trade-off there. And hear me when I say this. This is all my speculation.
Well, yeah.
And so I don't want, like, I could be totally wrong and I'm okay with that. But it just seems a little fishy. And what bothered me, I think, about the last 2 episodes is they were so easily convinced by this guy. They didn't question it at all. And
don't you think off air though, behind the scenes, they probably did?
Like, I wonder if they're like, they have to be politically correct. So they're like, oh, like he was an addict. Like was going through tough times. They don't want to like sound harsh or judgmental. Is part of my thought of like why they were so easily like, oh, he's a good guy. We forgive him. Everything. This is great. I'm glad this happened. Like they were like, the last episode really got me when they were like more concerned, which if he really was an addict and this really was because he was in his addiction, he was sick, then I get it. I guess my thing is I want more of the conversation of them questioning it or like, how did they get there so quickly?
So I guess there's an armchair expert thing on Reddit because I just Googled and now I'm on some Reddit page and there's stuff that's been redacted so I can't see it all. Like, did you know you could redact on Reddit?
No. Who's redacting it?
I don't know. Maybe Monica?
Do you think that's the guy's name is right there?
I don't know, but someone replied to a redacted statement. So from the reply, you can kind of guess what maybe the statement was saying. But I think they're thinking more of what you're thinking, and they're sort of feeling crazy because they listened to the last episode and they're like, wait, what? This is how y'all are responding? Because they said, I don't know, do you give Reddit handles? Does it matter?
No, they're anonymous handles anyway. I don't think that somebody wants credit for it.
Okay. So glad to find this here, as I thought I was the one losing my mind. After the Zoom call with the son, I expected the team to reconvene and have a WTF was that reaction. The OMG, I believe him. Now I have closure. I guess the police, the private investigator, and everyone else was wrong reaction was totally unexpected and kind of blew me away. The guy was so vague about everything, really said nothing specific about the podcast that would give any indication that he was a regular listener, couldn't remember pretty big details like emailing a question in as Natasha, had to be prodded to remember that he occasionally would take trips with his dad. We're also, as others have mentioned, supposed to buy that this guy is enough of an alcoholic and drug addict to not remember large chunks of details about this time frame, but that during the midst of his addiction, he was able to keep track of the intricate plot details of multiple fictional characters he had created, as well as write an academic level.
You're right.
That was
got
crazy.
me. Now, the only thing I
the
can,
piece about religion.
but
and
if he was like tripping on something like a hallucinogen, I can see how he could write that. I could see, because it sounded like he's in La La Land when he was writing that.
Okay.
But if you were drunk or just like high off of whatever, you're not writing that.
Yeah.
So this person, thank you, because they put how I feel into beautiful words. I just feel like, huh? You took us on this ride, and then this is how you're going to end it. The son literally didn't know. It's like he wasn't even prepared enough to have that interview, because every time they asked him something, he's like, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it says here, and I forgot to think about this as well. They said, don't forget his emails had double spacing at the start of new sentences. Considering the professor's age, I imagine that the son is a millennial at most. I believe the last generation of people who did that was the typewriter type spacing generation.
Well, I did that in college, but that's just because it made your page longer.
Oh,
When it had to be like 3 pages, I would double space.
Well, I don't think he was headed for a page count, because I know we needed that. And then another person is with you too, Kat. Here they say, also, how do you not remember $1,000?
Yeah,
Like that you
when he doesn't have a
gave-
job or anything. Or maybe he did have a job then, but I think I just feel like disappointed. Not that it was him, that like we went on this ride and then we're just gonna be like, okay, this seems right, when all evidence pointed to his dad.
I am shocked. I had not looked up anything online. I think
It's
when
a
I was listening
whole-
to it, I was on a walk and I was thinking, oh, I need to look this up when I get back. And then I moved on with life and forgot about it. But most people here are thinking it's still the dad.
Yeah,
They're like you.
which I will say, that's smart on the dad. If that's
I'm trying to think if like my mom or dad came to me, they would either have something that they're blackmailing me with.
or
Like the dad is either like, hey, I'll pay for this, or if you don't do this, then I have this information about you and it's going to ruin your life.
But actually, no, because I thought about that. If this was my parents and they got themselves in this situation and I could take the fall, but no, because we're never going to know who that guy is. There's no way to find out who he is. So I could take the fall, but the only people that would know were Monica and the 2 podcast hosts. So I think if I realized that my parents like royally messed up and that got themselves in this huge thing, I might have the compassion for my parents to fall on the sword for him. Because that guy's getting no consequence. Like I wouldn't get a consequence for taking the blame. It's not like we got to see his face or know who he is. So he's really not even taking the blame. It's just shifting the blame off of the professor.
Yeah. And you know how something else that's coming up and what I'm reading from people is he did his research to know how to connect with the podcast host. Like you mentioned, one of the first emails that he wrote in about was a body image type question, right? So he was calculated in that, like likely trying to tug on the host's heartstrings because she had mentioned her issues with her mom growing up. So he did certain things to manipulate and that relationship with her, right? Well, with Monica, because she has walked through it with Dax and maybe other people, if he's done his research on Monica, he knows that one way to pull at her heartstrings and manipulate her would be
Through
to
addiction.
be an addict in recovery and now have remorse. And I wanted to make amends, but I didn't want to open up that wound. Like if y'all had moved on, like, or how would I go about doing it? So they're saying that just like he manipulated Elizabeth, the podcast host, he then did the same thing to Monica, which who knows? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but it is a theory.
That you bringing that up made me remember, and this is a question I have for you, like what would you do situation. You know that, and for people that didn't listen to the podcast, there was one storyline where this person wrote in and she was engaged to this guy and she had posed for nude photos before she was with this person to, I think, make money to get through school or something like that. And these photos ended up being mass distributed and I guess were very popular. And like if you went to certain websites that she didn't know that they were going to be on, you could see them. And so She was like, they're so popular that like my now fiance's family is going to find out. Like, do we get in front of it and tell them, or do we just act like it never happened? Now, my one question is, I want to know what you would do, but also he took that storyline so far where he sent the photos to the podcast host,
and she
looked at them. I want to know what you would do in both those situations.
Okay,
would you ever click that link?
No. Nope. No. Well, first of all, I'm not going to be engaging that much back and forth to where
like,
I'm ever going. Yeah. Like, I think I would be way too, I mean, who knows? If I had communicated at that level, then maybe I would look just to like try to understand, because she seems like, really enmeshed in the situation now. But I just don't think I'm going to get to that point.
Right. Okay.
And then I think,
what would you do if you were the
I just want a healthy boundary of like, I don't think I should be looking at these nude pictures or whatever they are. I don't know. Like the whole thing, just looking back. I mean, even think Elizabeth realizes now, like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was really weird of me.
I guess when she was in it, she was just so enmeshed in it.
Yeah. And I mean, she was often up late at night. She was breastfeeding. Like, she could have been very tired. Like, there's a lot of reasons why she was trying to get lost in this
other world
as well.
And she felt needed and all that.
And that can feel really good. Like, she felt like she was helping Beth.
Yeah.
Elizabeth felt like she was helping Beth.
Now, here's the other part of that question is, if you were that fake person, would you tell your fiance's family that you have nude photos, or would you just act like it never happened?
I would just act like it never happened.
I'm like, surely your family's not going to bring it up to you.
Are these photos.
Oh, and then the fake fiance ended up breaking up with her, and then Beth felt really bad and had to. So
and then there was the brother.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, there was a lot of characters that he was having to keep up with when he was high or drunk or whatever.
Okay. So now where are you? I
don't know. Between you and, I mean, I typically don't believe anything I see on Reddit, but I mean, interesting.
I think I'm open to anything being real. I just wish that there was more dialogue around the inconsistencies.
Someone put a name on here. I'm about to Google this person.
It's like, don't say it. We could get sued.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like I don't want to falsely accuse.
Okay, well, it's on the Armchair Expert Reddit thing about it.
Is this the guy from Canada?
No, this is an American philosopher.
Does he look like he did it?
Maybe.
What? Does he have an adult son?
He's 60-ish. So yeah, he could. I have no idea if he has kids yet. I haven't gotten that far into his Wikipedia, but I sure I can head on over to his personal life. Okay, he has a academic career, literary writing.
Literary writing, isn't that?
Biblical integration, influences, personal life. He does.
Does that son say he has? I guess, do they give information about the son's life?
A little bit.
Is he an addict?
A little bit. No, I don't know about that part.
Oh, okay.
No. Sorry. I'm saying they share a little bit, but I don't know. But that's where I found it.
Okay.
It's on that Reddit page. So it's interesting. I did not know that you were like that. It's not him. Like, I was like, oh man, he really is making amends here and feels terrible. But you're right. Some of this, the 2 + 2 is not 4 here.
Right. And I do think part of it could be their point to say that, like, you couldn't hear his voice to see his face. So, like, they got a different experience than we got.
Did you pay for any of the Patreon, or you waited for the free?
No, thank God. I'd be so mad if I paid and that's
because that's what someone just put. I can't believe they duped me into Patreon. I feel like I got catfished by the host. LOL. What a
literally.
Someone goes, is it possible that the entire story is fiction? Elizabeth is a writer after all.
Oh, that would be good if this whole thing was fake.
Because it's entertainment.
Yeah. And we could never know. That would be the ultimate, like, I honestly would give them an award if this whole thing was fake. Can you write things off as real that are fake?
What? Can you what? Can you write things off that are fake? that are real? Can you write?
No.
I'm trying to guess
Like-
what you were going to
Like
say.
if I wrote a memoir about my life and made a movie about it, but it was all made up, can I get sued for that? Isn't that what that guy from Running with Scissors did? Or something about sprinkles?
Sprinkles, scissors. But isn't a memoir supposed to be true?
Yes, but that's my point. It's like if I made a memoir, but I just made it up. There was a guy, somebody's going to know what I'm
Oh, the
talking about.
Million Little Pieces?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
A Million Little
Sprinkles.
Skittles? A Million Little Scissors?
There was a book called Running with Scissors that was also similar vibes.
Yes, yeah.
He
And
got
he
in
was on
trouble.
Oprah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Oprah promoted him, and then
On
it found
yeah.
out that it was not
It was
real.
fabricated.
Yes. So do you get sued for that, or you just get like publicly shamed?
Publicly shamed, I suppose.
Okay. Because I can't be like, you lied to me and I got emotionally invested. I'm going to sue you for emotional damages.
I don't know. You know, when I read Green Light,
I could not get through that book.
Matthew McConaughey's
I
book,
could not.
I was like, wow, he remembers so many details about his childhood.
That's why I couldn't get through it.
But he did say he's an avid journaler. So think
Oh.
about if you were to write down and journal, which
But-
I wish that I did, because I'm like, I know I have some other good stories that I've just forgotten about, but he has so many. And I'm like, how many of these are just
We talked about this when it came
fabricated?
up, though,
Mhm.
when it came out, because he knew the exact conversations of certain things that I'm just like,
like for real?
which is okay
Right.
that you had to like improvise a little bit,
Mhm.
but I had to stop because I didn't, when he was like green light, I didn't like it. Maybe I'll go back one day. So my question was, can you fabricate something and then sell it as truth and get away with it?
Yeah, I'm sure people do that all
Okay,
the time.
then like, why am I not doing that? I mean,
because you have integrity.
right. I answered that as it was coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think
we could
Monica has
really-
some
we could-
integrity though.
She does. And I think she has a lot of compassion. And I think that he tugged at her heartstrings. So either he is telling the truth and she is acting as exactly as she should,
Or
right? As
there's
a
something wrong with
supportive.
me.
or she's been completely manipulated and they got duped.
Yeah.
Like, we'll
I-
have to find out when Beth's Dead 2 comes out.
I will say I got an affinity for, or how do you say that? Developed an affinity for Monica. Like I really do respect her and like her because I listened to her podcast Synced that she did. And it was just about like her freezing her eggs. But you learn about, like, she talks about her personal life, and it just is like a sweet thing that she did that I think anybody who's going through that, listen to it because you learn a lot. It's not just about her journey. She also interviews all these different people. And now that I'm thinking about it, she might have interviewed Elizabeth and
Andy.
Andy. I wanted to call them Anders because that's a character. And Andy, she might have interviewed them on the
Well,
show, too.
they started out as a parasocial
Yes.
relationship because she listened to their podcast and
Yeah.
emailed them.
Crazy. That was cute.
It was cute. I know. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
what a
that's
cute.
cute.
Well, it's like, how, did you think of us?
No.
You didn't. But you weren't emailing me as a parasocial. You were emailing me as an opportunity. Remember?
I think that didn't I offer just like resources, or I
No,
asked to
you
be.
heard from your friend's mom that we were looking for therapists that specialized in eating disorders.
Okay.
So you
I
decided to shoot
my
your shot. You weren't like, oh, I'm a big fan. I listen. Like, I love you. No.
I was like, my friend's mom told me about it.
You're like, I don't even know who you are, quite frankly. I
knew who
just
you were.
heard from a bird that you're looking for a therapist and I am qualified. And guess what? I work right around the corner.
Yeah,
was like,
that's
oh,
crazy.
Perfect. So you moseyed on over and sat
I didn't
down.
even think about that, but that's cute.
I
Okay.
did. I was like, that's how Kat and I began.
Here we are.
Yeah. Speaking of emails, we got an offer, a Findom.
They keep coming in.
I know. CryoCat's like, hello, send him my way.
Wait, I got one on my Venmo too. Somebody messaged me on Venmo, and I have a request.
For how much?
Well, it's just like, let me pull it up. It's like some kind of sugar daddy that's asking to connect with me or something.
Does he listen to the show? Is it Findom or just random?
Well, I don't know. Could be just a coincidence. But
Okay, so this is in reference to last year. We talked about financial domination on an episode, and it's this fetish of sorts. No,
Yeah,
it is. It's just
fetish.
point blank a
Yeah.
fetish where you
it's a
demand
career
money.
too.
You demand money, and they like to give it to you. The pigs like to
Pay
pay.
pigs.
The pay pigs. They like to pay. I was going to say
It's pay pigs. Get it right.
the pigs like to pay. And they're called pay pigs.
And then what are the other people called? Just like doms?
Like if Kat was a pay pig and I was a findom
Oh, you're a fin dom.
or a dom or whatever, I'd be like, Kat, give me $50. And Kat would be like, okay. Because that's what she likes to do. She likes to be demanded
To pay
of
or
money.
buy things.
Yeah. And we keep getting this email, and we got another one. The most recent one says, hey, I reached out a couple of times on your Findom episode. Are either of you interested? Sorry if that was just a passing reference and you were not serious / interested. Thanks. Which, did we put a call out that we were?
No.
Maybe
we didn't.
CryoCat.
No, we didn't. We just were talking about it. And then we made a reel about it that was hilarious of you fin-doming your boyfriend.
Yeah, which he was
And he
not
rejected
taking
you.
the bait. He wanted nothing to do with that.
But I think people just heard us talking about it and they're like, oh, here's an opportunity for me to be a pay pig. The Venmo request is just from Sugar Daddy Earl Ronald. And he wants to be friends. And he looks like Santa Claus.
Sugar Daddy Earl Ronald?
And I haven't confirmed it.
Okay, don't.
I don't. No, I feel like he could like find
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
I don't know. Like, can somebody find information about you if you? Why are you even friends with somebody on Venmo? I don't even get that.
I don't know either. I mean, I guess if there's people you're exchanging things and then you can like see, you can't see the amount, but you can see what they're paying for. Like,
But I can
sometimes
see-
I'll see people I know come up and I'll be like, oh, they have a cleaning lady? Okay.
But I have all those people on my feed, but I'm not friends with them. I think I just like had their phone number in my phone.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're just connected to your contacts.
Oh,
Like whatever that is. I'm not sure. I got so freaked out when I first started Venmo because I didn't really understand it. This was years ago. My friend wanted me to pay her on Venmo and I was like, I don't know about
no
this.
way.
So mine's even like not even my real name and my picture is a blanket.
Oh, Amy.
What is it?
Let's change it.
Well, now you have to change it.
No, it's fine.
People
I
are gonna
like it.
find the blanket and they're gonna know it's you.
But it's not my name. There could be lots of. Well, who cares? It doesn't matter. I've since
Sugar Daddy
learned-
Earl Ronald is gonna find you.
I have since found out that Venmo is pretty safe. So, like back then, I didn't know, but now it's just like a Chase or a Truist. It's like
It's
a bank.
Yeah.
So, like,
They can't give your information away.
right,
Okay.
Unless
so
they
I'll
get
friend him and see if he just
hacked by Earl Donald John.
I'm gonna accept it because maybe that just allows him to send me money.
Yeah, but then you're in this weird Venmo relationship with.
What's gonna happen? I'm not going to. I'm just like playing this out.
What's gonna happen is Patrick is gonna tell
He's gonna
Patrick
find me.
he's in a relationship with you, and he's gonna be like, check her bank account, and Patrick's gonna be like, what is all this
And
money?
I'm gonna get divorced.
And he's gonna be like, what have you been doing this for money? And you're gonna be like, nothing. And he's like, I don't believe you. And then your marriage is over thanks to Donald Ronald John. What's his name?
Sugar Daddy Donald Ronald Earl Donald.
That Sugar Daddy Earl Donald Ronald is not, it's probably some guy in India that sets up these accounts and then starts these relationships with
No,
people.
he looks like an American.
No, that's a cover photo.
It can't be.
They're catfishing you.
Can I? If I? Okay, wait. Oh, there's writing on his picture. I just clicked it, and his name is, you know how you have like @ and then your Venmo name. His name is @ text me here and then gives his phone number. And his picture says, text me here, gives his phone number. I'm legit sugar daddy looking for a local sugar baby. Kindly text me here. If you are interested to get your $2,600 as your first present, text me.
Okay, see, this just sounds
very
very
specific one.
foreign and like, oh, this is how we're going to get the American girls. Text me. Here's my text me. $2,600.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to text you. It's over, Ronald Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Sugar Daddy.
should we not, we're not going to answer the Findom either, but like how crazy that it's never going to die, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the podcast doesn't work out, we have a backup option.
Yeah.
A little risky, but it's there.
I don't know how much he could fork over, but
You never know.
I think
till
we'll
you
keep
try.
podcasting. I think we're good. We have another email from our friend Ari.
Ooh.
Hopefully it's really
Yeah.
Ari. Hey, Amy and Kat. First, I love your podcast. I laugh with you guys while I'm driving, like we're friends in real life.
Ooh.
Just kidding. See, I don't want Beth's dead to change our relationship with our listeners, because our listeners are not
They're
like
cool.
that. They're cool. We're cool. Everybody's cool.
Yeah.
We have a cool parasocial relationship.
Yeah. We're cool.
For sure. I'm listening to the podcast right now, and I had an idea for merch. Posters. Not like middle school posters, but beautiful adult wall art with the phrase, have the day you need to have. I'm a supervisor at my job, and I have an office that people I supervise often come into to chat. And I was thinking, what if there was a sign of some sort I could hang in my office that said, have the day you need to have? You just design it to look pretty and sell it on nice paper. It ships rolled up in a tube, and then people can frame it. Just a thought. I'd buy it. Thanks for all you do and your vulnerability. Your friend, Ari.
I think that's a great idea.
And did you see our email from Camille today?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Which we need to meet about that. But she does our merch.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I would love to meet in the new year to see if we can add anything to the merch line that maybe is even at a lower price point.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this could be that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have, I don't know if you remember this, but in my office, I have that poster that says, feel your feelings.
Mhm.
That's the vibe it's giving me. And I have it just on these, like this little magnet. It was like a $10 little magnet thing that like hangs it like, so it looks like a pendant, you know?
Cute.
I think this could be.
I know. Like I was like, oh, that's why I pulled this email, because I was like, oh my gosh, we just got that email from Camille. Now we have this email from our friend Ari. And it could be something that is that, like, it still have the day you need to have, but yeah, a different option if people don't want like a sweatshirt or a shirt.
Yeah.
And then it definitely would be at a different price point.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. So
Thank you.
Ari, thank you for your suggestion. We will pass that on to Camille. We're going to be having a meeting with her at the end of the month.
Cool.
Did you see that?
Nope.
Oh, I replied.
I didn't read your reply.
Okay. She
That
said
was like today,
she's-
wasn't it? Or
Yeah, it
yesterday?
was this morning. She said she's going out of the country, but she'll be
Cool.
back. Which her company is NB Goods, which she's got a lot of really cute stuff, a lot of vintage stuff lately. So, but she's the one that's been doing our merch, and all that is at feelingthingspodcast.com.
Yes.
feelingthingspodcast.com. And y'all can email us, hey there at feelingthingspodcast.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can call us. We love your voicemails. That's 2026 is the year of us
voicemails.
connecting more over voicemails. Let's take our parasocial relationships
To the next level.
to the phone.
Because that is like their voice memoing us and we're doing it back on the podcast.
Yes.
So
hit us up, 877-207-2077.
yeah.
Bam.
Cool.
And then if you really want to connect, then Feeling Things on Instagram or TikTok or Feeling Things TikTok. Is it Feeling Things Podcast, I think, is the handle.
Yes.
On the TikTok.
On the TikTok.
And the Instagram and the YouTube.
Oh, don't forget the YouTube.
We have so many ways you can be parasocial with us.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, not even crazy. It's not even crazy. But thank you for your email, Cindy, about Beth's dead. You and Kat might be more on the same page. And I think I might have to do a little more research, and then I might join y'all. I'm very curious.
Well, now
to
I feel
see.
bad.
You shouldn't feel bad.
Okay. Thanks.
I think that you intuitively probably have a better handle on this sort of stuff. Like I'm sort of like, you know me. Like the last thing I hear,
You're
I
like,
believe.
"Oh."
I'm like, oh, that happened. Oh my gosh. And then like, oh wait, that happened. Oh my gosh. So that's why I told you I'd be a horrible juror.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
If there were two good,
be
solid
like-
lawyers, like I would just be like, oh yeah, they did it. And I'd be
not
like,
if-
oh, they're innocent.
Not if you were a juror on P. Diddy's case.
Yeah, no, guilty.
Yeah. Don't get me started. We already did a whole episode on that.
I know.
That was before I watched the whole documentary.
Yeah, he's a mess. Yeah. And I feel like my thoughts continued on that. I didn't really understand at the time, which CryoCat was chiming in a little bit, but I either forgot about the part, like, but then went back and read some stuff because I multitask when I watch things. So sometimes I miss
Yeah.
details. And the juror, it later came out that one of the girls, she's definitely a fan, like a huge fan. And
You could tell in the documentary.
But see,
I'm
she
like,
said in the
come
documentary
on.
she wasn't really. And guess what? I believed her.
No, she seemed too on his side. Where the other guy, I'm like, there's no way. The other juror that was on there, I was like, I believe you. Like, he was not
He was
listening.
neutral,
He was older and whatever. I can't. I have no words. I'm
You have no words.
speechless.
Speechless.
Okay. I think
And shook.
talk about shook. That girl.
Yeah.
I was watching, it was on the treadmill, and I was watching her, and honestly, she did put some pep in my step because I was like angry walking at her.
When
like,
you're
how
a
could
big,
she?
like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're in tune. I think, not that my intuition isn't correct or like your intuition is better than mine, but maybe I think, and you are a bit like, of course I want justice, right? But you are really big on like all things. And I just feel like if you feel like something's up with this Beth Stead, then there could be something up.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Open to being wrong, but also open to being right.
Okay, well, we hope wherever y'all are, you are having the day
You need to have.
Bye.
Bye.